heart chakra is associated with love and relationships, and compassion, empathy. So today we're just going to focus on bringing our awareness to that chakra and starting to open up with some interesting heart opening poses. And I'd like you to grab your strap now. So you can sit in any comfortable seated position for this. So I've chosen cross-legged, but welcome to have your feet out stretched in front, come into kneeling or anything else. And we're just going to do a little bit of work with the shoulders just to get everything kind of warmed up. So I'd like you to bring your hands out. So again, you can be using any type of strap for this, but perhaps bringing your hands so they're slightly wider than shoulder distance apart, raising it up to the sky. You can always make them a little bit wider if you need to, depending on how open your shoulders are. Perhaps starting a little bit wider even, and then you'll bring them closer together. What you're going to do is bring the strap behind you and back up, and then bring it down in front of you and back up. So as I said, feel free to adjust the strap so that you're not having to bend your arm too much as you're coming round. There's always that sticky bit with your shoulders. So feeling perhaps an area of tightness, you can stay there for a little bit longer, but just working through it. Going up and down. We'll just do this a couple more times. Inhaling up, exhaling down, bringing your breath into it. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And just one more time. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, and then we'll exhale over to the side. So it doesn't matter which side you go for, but starting to feel a stretch down the side of the body. Inhale back up to center. Exhale over to the side. And you're welcome to bring your hands a little bit closer to increase the stretch, if you like. Inhale back to center. Exhale over. Inhale back to center. And exhale over. Beautiful. So releasing that strap now. Hopefully your shoulders are feeling a little bit warmer. Starting to take a couple of wrist rolls. So going one way and the other. You can also bring your hands together and kind of go back on the palms. So bringing them towards you. Keeping the hands touching as much as possible. And then reversing direction. Beautiful. When you're ready, removing any props and popping yourself into an all-fours position. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and coming through to find a couple of cat-cows. So I really want you to press into the hands. Imagine that you're pressing the hands away. You tuck your tailbone under, bringing the belly towards the spine in your cat pose. And then tilting through, bringing that tailbone up, shoulders, blades are coming together in this cow pose. So focusing perhaps on that heart space once more, noticing what's going on with the chest. What are you doing with your arms today? What's happening with those shoulder blades as you're moving through? And now I'd like you to move the wrists around. So I'd like you to move them so that they're facing towards you. So it will have a slightly different sensation in each of these moves. Just notice the difference, perhaps how it feels in your forearm, where you might feel an immediate stretch, but also in the chest area. And you can really roll through these slowly, working with your own breath. You don't have to go as fast as what I'm demonstrating. Just another couple. And release. Perhaps rolling those wrists once more. And then coming onto your toes, you're just going to tuck the toes under, coming into a kneeling position. And then bringing yourself up, we're going to come into a couple of half camel poses. So I'll just demonstrate first, but effectively, I'm going to bring one hand back, bring it to the same hand to the same ankle, and then lean back over, coming back across, leaning over. So it would look something like this from the front, from the side, something like that. So just starting to open the front of the body, Starting to feel that chest open towards the sky. Nice side body stretch. Just bringing those hips forward as you're moving, and perhaps engaging your core muscles just to help. A bit of bum muscle engagement. Just warming everything up. Make this one your last. And release. Lovely. And then when you're in, coming back to your all fours position, you're going to come into a couple of hip circles. So grounding it into the right foot, bringing the left knee out to the side, really bringing it up towards the left elbow. So really trying to work into that juicy spot with the hip. One more time. And then the next time it's up by the elbow, holding it there for just a moment. Then you're going to kick it out to the side. So one, like karate kicking it a couple of times, keeping the foot lifted as high as you can. Then when you're ready, you're going to drop that foot down, option to move across to your mat at this point as we come into our gate pose. And perhaps bringing the arms out to the side. Holding it here for just a couple of moments. And then when you're ready, you're going to exhale, coming down to the side. So enjoying a side stretch, option to bring the arm over. Really enjoying a nice side stretch of the body, pressing into that right palm, spreading those fingers, and spreading the left fingers out. So bring a really nice wingspan across the body. Inhaling yourself back up. And then this time, you're going to come back onto that palm. This time, bend a little bit further back. So pushing the hips forward, bringing yourself back, coming into a little half wild thing. So really feeling that chest opening here, pressing the hips forward, pressing it into that outer edge of that extended leg foot. Lovely. And gently release, coming back to center, perhaps rolling off the wrist if you need to. And then we'll come back round to find our all fours position, and we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So this time, working with the right knee, creating a nice big hip circles. See if you can get it up to that right elbow, as wide as you can. The next time it's at that right elbow, see if you can hold it there for a moment. And then kicking it out to the side, karate kicking. Next time you kick, allowing that foot to come to the mat. Perhaps moving on your mat if you'd like to, or you can always leave that foot on the floor. And then bringing that out to the side, coming out to your gate pose. So really solid pose, thinking about moving those hips forward, their tendency to want to go back. So see if you can push the hips forward, using your bum muscles, engaging your abdominals, keeping yourself nice and straight and tall, and pressing out in that outer edge of that extended foot. Beautiful. Stretching through the arms, enjoying a nice opening. Exhaling over, and we'll find that beautiful side stretch. So option to keep the arm up like this, or over. Pressing the hips forward if they've crept back. Breathing fluidly here. Inhaling yourself back up once more. And then this time we'll come back across, but this time we're going to come over, so up and over, backwards, to allow the right palm to be floating backwards as we press our hips forward, so coming into our half wild thing. Beautiful, holding for a couple of breaths. On your next inhale, gently bring yourself upwards, using those abdominals and releasing the hands off, taking any movement that you need here. We'll come back into our kneeling pose. We bring the left knee forward, pressing those hips forward. Option to keep the hands on the hips. Otherwise, you're going to bring the arms up, holding it here. And if you've got the options, you've got those hips thrust a little bit further forward, sucking the abdominals in, the option to lean yourself back a little bit, so coming into a crescent lunge pose. It's a slight back bend, which will open that chest area. Coming back up to center, so removing that back bend for a moment, exhaling the palms down to your chest, into your prayer pose. Inhale to grow a little bit taller. Exhale over that front knee. Finding our twist. Always feels quite nice after those heart opening poses. Gently inhaling yourself up to center. Exhale to bring the knee back to meet the other. And then we're going to swap across to the opposite side. So bringing the right foot forward this time. Pressing, grounding that back knee into the floor. Options, keep the hands on the hips. Pressing those hips forward. I was going to inhale the arms up. Pausing for a moment here, just adjusting yourself as required. Broadening out those shoulders. And then engaging the abdominals, engaging the glutes with those hips pressed forward. Option to bring a little back bend in here, so coming into the crescent lunge on this side. So feeling that chest open towards the sky. Just enjoying this feeling of opening through the front of the body, that stretch down the front of the left leg. Inhale to come back up to center. Exhale to hands to heart center. Inhale to grow a little bit taller. Exhale to twist over that front knee. Just enjoying that twist, that movement in the spine. Rounding into the whole of the front foot and the whole of that back leg. And inhaling back up to center. Taking any movement that you like as you bring the knee back. And we're going to walk the hands out. You're going to find your first downward facing dog, so spreading those fingers nice and wide, placing them perhaps just slightly wider than your shoulders, bringing the knees up, pushing those hips up and back. Option to pedal the dog here, or take any other movement. Just enjoying that stretch down the back of the legs, concentrating on bringing those hips nice and high. Beautiful. We're going to do a little vinyasa flow just to come through to find our plank pose. Don't worry. So you can either bring the knees down or lower yourself all the way down, bringing those elbows into your chest. And rolling yourself up into your cobra. So really feeling like that chest, that heart space is opening in this pose, pressing the tops of the feet down to the floor. Keeping yourself really engaged as you're lifting your heart towards the sky. Then pressing back with the hands. Option to come through to find a little child's pose. Or rolling yourself straight up now into your downward facing dog. So once we're all in downward facing dog, pausing at the top in stillness. Grounding into the right foot, bringing the left foot behind us. We're going to step that knee in between our hands, help it through if you need to. Bring the right knee down to the earth. We're going to come through to find our crescent lunge once more, so option to stay upright, or you're going to bring those hips forward, engage those abdominals as you perhaps bring that slight back bend in. Beautiful. When you're ready, you're going to gently exhale the hands down, tucking the back toes under and kicking the heel out to the side, coming up into your pyramid pose. So extending that front leg. And perhaps this is where you might want blocks if you like, or I quite often just do it with my hands on my leg. Bring the blocks here, just to bring the floor up to you. And just enjoying a stretch through the front leg, hips are facing towards the top of the mat. That back heel's out to the side. Legs are about hip distance apart. Beautiful. From there, you're going to bend into the front knee, bring the hands to the hips, and then bring yourself up. You're in your warrior one legs already. So you're going to bring the arms up to the sky. And then likely to bring some cactus arms in. So exhale to bring your hands out to the side like goalposts. Inhale back up to center. Exhale down. Inhale up to center. Really feeling like you're bringing those elbows slightly back. Working into that chest and shoulder area. And then when you're ready, you're going to exhale yourself back down. Bring your hands either side of that front foot. And then you're going to step yourself back to find your downward facing dog. Option to drop the knees here and come through to find a little child's pose. Or you can go through a vinyasa, so going through the plank and the cobra pose that we did before, if you'd like to bring some extra movement to your practice. Beautiful. Just allowing yourself to settle in that child's pose if you've taken it. And then when we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Perhaps taking a couple of moments just to shuffle those feet, to stretch through them as you walk the dog before you find stillness. Grounding into the left at this time. Raise the right foot back, up and behind you. Exhale to bring it in between your hands. Help it through if you need to. And we're coming to find, so you're going to lower that back knee down, untuck the toes as we come through to find our crescent lunge on this side. So bringing the hips forward. Bringing the arms up, allowing the shoulders to broaden, engaging your abdominals as you get slightly back. Your head is slightly tilted upwards, not throwing it back, keeping it in line with your hands. Grounding into the whole of that back knee as you press those hips forward. Feel a nice opening and back bend, that chest. Really facing towards the sky, towards that sunny day. Exhale to bring the hands either side of the front foot. Option to bring the blocks in at this point or work just with your fingertips. You tuck the back toes under, kick the heel out to the side, making sure those feet are about hip distance apart, extending that front leg to come into your pyramid pose. Breathing here. Grounding into both feet. Just enjoying sensations through your strong legs this morning. And when you're ready, you're going to bring your hands to your hips. Bend that front knee and come up to find your warrior one. Perfect. When you're ready, you're going to bring the arms up to the sky, broadening off those shoulders once more. And surprise, surprise, you know where we're going with this now. Going to exhale the hands down to find our cactus arms, inhaling back up to center. Enjoying that feeling of opening through the chest, really engaging the hands. Imagine that you're dragging them through mud or something, just something really sticky, just to really engage those chest and shoulder muscles. Beautiful. Making this one your last. Inhaling up and then exhaling over to find your forward fold. And then you're going to step that back foot to meet the front foot, sorry, to meet the back, coming through your downward dog. Option to stay here, to go through your little vinyasa, or going back to your child's pose. Coming through the vinyasa, rolling yourself up, enjoying that cobra. That's making it a little bit bigger this time by pressing into the fingers, whole of those palms, bringing those elbows in. And then when you're ready, resting yourself back to find a little child's pose. Pausing here, just for a couple more breaths. I'd like you to bring your awareness back to that heart chakra, that chest area, just noticing and connecting with that area. And then when you're ready, let everyone to sink themselves back. Bringing the hands round, perhaps using even that block underneath the forehead as you bring the hands down by the sides of you, coming into a very restorative version of child's pose. Settling your breath. Allowing yourself to surrender down to that mat in front of you. And then when you're ready, gently rolling yourself upright, roll down onto your backs. And give yourself a big hug. Option to rock from side to side or take any spinal massage that feels good. And a lot of, what's associated, I guess, with this heart chakra is about self-compassion. So, we're all work in progress, and we shouldn't be beating ourselves up about stuff. It's about being kind to ourselves. So perhaps using this moment to connect with that heart space area and think about how you might be a little bit kinder to yourself this week. Again, gently taking a little moment to roll yourself onto your favorite side before you roll yourself up to seated position. Thank you very much for practicing with me.